And former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has led the group once referred to as the G5 governors in the build-up to the 2023 presidential election to meet President Bola Tinubu in the presidential villa. Other members of the group are Governor of Oyo State Femi Akande, former Governor of Benue State Samuel Otom, former Governor of Enugu State Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi, and former Governor of Abia State Okezie Ikpeazu. Well, this group are members of the opposition People's Democratic Party that disagreed with the decision of their party to pick a northern presidential candidate against the principle of power shift to the south. For the former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and Governor Femi Akande, this is not the first time they will be given audience by President Tinubu after he was sworn in on the 29th of May. But this is the first time the group will be meeting President Tinubu formally. Let's speak to State House correspondent Femi Akande, who joins me live from the presidential villa. This meeting, let's begin with the meeting the president had with the two current governors of the opposition party. It's generating quite some reactions, Femi, considering that the PDP is challenging the president's victory in court. I'm wondering what more you've gathered as to the motive behind this visit.
Yes, and if without prejudice to what is happening in court, the governor of Akwa Ibom State told State House correspondents that politics is over, that it is time for governance. And that is one of the reasons why he came to see President Bola Tinubu, because he needs to strengthen partnership with the federal government. There are a lot of projects he would like to embark on in his state. And without the support of the federal government, not all of this can be achieved. He campaigned, made promises to his people, and he knows that working with the federal government would help him meet the expectations of his people. You know, he also said that, you know, he supports the federal government's decision to fully implement the withdrawal of petrol subsidy, and in his own state, he's already putting measures in place by providing interventions that would help the people cushion the impact caused by the hardship caused by the removal of petrol subsidy. And he is saying that, you know, what everyone needs now is to come together. And what President Tinubu also is trying to do is to blur political boundaries that once existed. It's irrespective of their political parties. President Bola Tinubu has thrown his doors open as the president of Nigeria to all governors, and we have been seeing them coming in to see him. Just today, we had, you know, the governor of Plateau State, who is from the PDP, the governor of Akwa Ibom State from the PDP, the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, also from the PDP, and indeed the PDP G5 governors. They all came in to see President Bola Tinubu separately. The governor of Enugu State met with President Tinubu, and he said that one of the demands he presented to Mr. President is the Southeast demand for the release of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. He says, you know, President Tinubu promised not to be a dictator, to listen to all sides and to carry everyone along. So in line with that statement of Mr. President, he is appealing that indeed the president considers the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. It would also be a way of easing tension in the country, the tension that enveloped the country in the build-up to the election, because President Tinubu has been talking about national healing, taking the country through that path of healing and reconciliation. So the Enugu State governor says he strongly believes that the release of Nnamdi Kanu would also help fast-track the achievement of that healing that Mr. President desperately seeks to achieve. So we have been seeing all of these meetings, and some people have said that, well, for President Tinubu now, he also understands that elections are over and he has become politically blind. It doesn't matter which party the governors are elected on, be it the Labour Party, the People's Democratic Party. He is the president of Nigeria, and he is the president of all. Nifemi.
Absolutely. He's also been talking about forming a government of national unity. And perhaps this is the body language we're receiving from President Tinubu. But let's talk about the governors we used to call the G5 governors, led by the former Rivers State governor to the presidential villa today. I'm wondering how much political capital you think they're bringing to a villa where Bola Tinubu is president. And I'm talking precisely about the other three, apart from Wike and Makinde?
Well, they all maintained one stand. They were on the same page when they stood against the decision of the People's Democratic Party to pick a northern presidential candidate. They insisted that power must shift to the south, according to the declaration they signed in Asaba. They maintained that stand against the decision of their party. So them coming to the presidential villa today to meet with President Tinubu, they say it's first to congratulate him on his victory and also his successful inauguration, and also to remind him of their stand on justice, equity, and fairness. So what it means is that moving forward, they also expect the president to reciprocate in terms of ensuring that in discharging his duties as president, he also upholds the principles of equity, fairness, and justice. And President Bola Tinubu has promised to run an inclusive government. You know that he's trying to set up his cabinet. He is consulting far and wide, talking to everybody. He's making careful steps to ensure that there are no missteps as he goes on, as he goes through the journey of governance. So we also believe that he would have also listened to some of these governors, including the PDP governors, because it is politically expedient for him to also listen to them, to also hear and even take suggestions from them in terms of people he would nominate to be in his cabinet. You know that the 36 states of the country will have to be represented in the federal cabinet. At least one person from each state will be represented in the federal cabinet. And the governors who are leaders of the state, political leaders of the state, should also have a say. In some cases where the governor does not belong to the party of the president, they are usually sidelined. But it appears President Bola Tinubu is consulting widely beyond the shores of the All Progressives Congress, his party. He's reaching out to people in the People's Democratic Party, listening to them, listening to their own ideas of nation building. And we believe that he would collate all of these, and then we'll begin to see the full implementation and manifestation of all of these, of the result of all of these consultations that he has been embarking on as soon as he sets down to form his cabinet. That is after ministers would have been screened by the Senate. Nifemi.
Is there a sense to which we can say that these 5 individuals are speaking for the PDP, given the political role they have played prior to the election? We know for a fact that the former Rivers State Governor and the current Oyo State Governor, we know what their allegiance were during that election. The former Benue State Governor came out publicly to throw his weight behind the candidate of the Labour Party. Would you say that the interest of the PDP is represented at the meeting with Mr. President?
Well, these G5 governors, as they were once referred to, had a fallout with their party, the People's Democratic Party. So I do not think they speak for the PDP. I do not think they represent the PDP because, well, they are still members of the People's Democratic Party. They still have some followership, strong followership, I would say, in the PDP, and they have the backing of even some members of the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. But we do not know if indeed they were there to represent the interests of the opposition People's Democratic Party in their meeting with President Bola Tinubu. But one thing Governor Nyesom Wike told a State House correspondent after that meeting is that they were just here to talk to the president, to talk on issues of nation building. He says it's a continuous process. It's a conversation that never ends. And so it shouldn't be a surprise for people to see them coming to the presidential villa to speak with the president. He says, as leaders, both at the state level and at the federal level, they are all interested in the growth and development of the country. And anytime they have an opportunity to meet, that is what is most prominent on their minds, and that is what dominates their discussion. So this is exactly what they have come to talk about. But we do not know what happens from here. So there are different speculations and insinuations out there, but for now, nothing is clear. Some people have even said maybe some of them might cross carpets, some of them might jump ship, abandon their party and move to the All Progressives Congress. But Governor Wike too has said that that is not on the books for now, and a lot of people are also saying maybe some of them might form part of President Tinubu's government, since he's interested in forming a government of national unity, ensuring inclusion, that maybe perhaps he would reach out to some of these G5 governors who believed in his agenda, in his plans, in his renewed hope manifesto, and ditched their party to support President Tinubu. Femi.
You just can't tell what is cooking for the former Rivers State governor. This is perhaps the third time he is visiting the presidential villa in the past 10 days. Femi Akande live for us at the presidential villa. Thank you for talking to us.